There is a company that owns a piece of almost every major corporation on Earth. Apple, Microsoft, Exxon, Coca-Cola, your bank, your landlord's bank, possibly your landlord. You have never worked for them. You have never signed a contract with them. But there is a real chance they already own a piece of the company you work for, the app on your phone, and the building you live in. This is BlackRock. And by the time this video is over, you will never look at the stock market the same way again. BlackRock manages approximately $11.5 trillion in assets. That is not a typo. To put that number somewhere your brain can actually hold it, that is larger than the entire GDP of every country on Earth except the United States and China. Larger than Germany, larger than Japan, larger than the UK, France, and Italy combined. One company, $11.5 trillion. So here is the question everyone asks the moment they hear that number. How does a single company end up controlling more wealth than most nations on the planet? And the answer is not what you think. Because BlackRock does not actually own most of this money. Let that sink in for a second. BlackRock is what is called an asset manager. It does not use its own money to buy Apple stock or Microsoft stock. It manages money that belongs to other people: pension funds, governments, universities, insurance companies, and regular people through their retirement accounts, and invests it on their behalf. But here is where it gets interesting. When BlackRock invests your pension fund's money into Apple stock, BlackRock does not just hold the stock quietly. It gets to vote with it. Every share of stock usually comes with a vote on the board of directors, on executive pay, on company policy. And because BlackRock manages so much money across so many funds, it has become one of the largest shareholders in almost every major public company in America. Apple, BlackRock is one of the top 3 shareholders. Microsoft, same story. ExxonMobil, same story. JPMorgan Chase, the bank. BlackRock is one of its largest shareholders too. So think about what that actually means. The company managing your retirement savings might also be a major shareholder in the bank holding your mortgage, the oil company setting gas prices, and the tech company running your phone. It's the same few names showing up as major owners again and again across almost the entire economy. Researchers have a name for this. They call it common ownership. And the numbers back it up. Along with 2 other giants, Vanguard and State Street, BlackRock is among the largest shareholders in the vast majority of S&P 500 companies. These 3 firms together are sometimes called the Big Three, and some studies estimate they collectively hold significant stakes across almost 90% of companies in the S&P 500. Not 90% of one company, a meaningful ownership stake across 90% of America's 500 biggest companies. Now here is where people start asking the uncomfortable question. If the same handful of shareholders own big stakes in every airline, every bank, every tech company, do those companies still compete with each other as hard as they would if they had separate, independent owners? Some economists argue this reduces the pressure to compete on price because the biggest shareholders benefit either way, no matter which company in the industry wins. Others push back and say index funds like BlackRock's are mostly passive. They're not in the boardroom pulling strings, they're just holding the shares because millions of ordinary people put their retirement money into index funds that happen to buy a little bit of everything. Both sides have a point, and that tension is exactly why this story is so complicated. But here's what nobody disputes. BlackRock's voting power is real, and it is enormous. In a single proxy season, BlackRock can cast votes representing trillions of dollars in shares on thousands of different corporate ballots, deciding who sits on the board, whether executives get their bonus, whether a company changes its climate policy. One firm's voting guidelines can quietly shape decisions at companies employing millions of people. And BlackRock didn't get here by accident. Founded in 1988 by Larry Fink and 7 partners, the firm started with a single idea: build better risk management software for Wall Street. That software is called Aladdin. If you want to see part 2 of this, where we break down exactly how BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street ended up voting on the same boards in the same industries at the exact same time, comment part 2 below. If enough of you want it, we'll make it. And if this video actually changed how you think about where your money goes, subscribe to Business Shark. New video third day. See you in the next one.